Hi there, Casey Healy from Century 21 Newcastle in Newcastle. Back with you for our Monday wrap, keeping Newcastle investors up to date on what's happening in the current rental market. Nick, short week for me this week. How good was it?
It was great, obviously. You were lapping up some nice walks up at the Gold Coast, but you've been away for training.
I have. I've been up on the Gold Coast at the StaffLink conference, which was amazing, by the way. So many takeaways, so much to implement and just change. It's all about that 1% better every day being 37% better every year. So I look forward to the changes and the implementing a couple of new things here in the office, which the girls are going to love.
I'm actually a little bit excited because you normally come back with massive changes, but to hear you say a couple of little implement changes.
1% better every day, and I think that's where we're going with it. So those little things that can make a big change over a 12-month period.
That's exciting. Yeah. So I was on Saturday for our opens, which was amazing. It looks like all our properties are going to lease, which awesome result for our investors. Once again, minimising vacancy rates and maximising their returns. Okay, so I also want to touch on this week. Last week we spoke about flipping the coin a little bit for investors, where you may be looking at taking advantage of what the sales market's doing at the moment, but what about thinking about switching it up and using the equity in the property?
Yeah.
To get your next investment property.
It's not always about cashing out. Use that of what is available and build further wealth from what you've already obtained.
100%. So following on from that, another thing for investors to look at is self-managed super funds.
Yes.
So it's something that isn't suitable for everyone, and we're not professionals in this field, but just a bit of guidance.
There's our disclaimer: do seek financial advice and talk to trained professionals about this. We're just here to guide you and give you some information to start thinking about moving forward.
Yeah, and it's education for both us and also the investors. So when it comes to purchasing your self-managed super fund, and I am reading off my notes because I want to get it right. So you can look at your post-retirement. So that's where you'll pay no tax on the capital gain.
So when you're selling that property, you're actually putting the profit into your super fund, which is how you're going to minimise tax. So it's called retiring out the debt.
Yeah. The next one is pre-retirement. So rent is taxed at 15% rather than the rates of up to 47%.
Yes.
And property held in a self-managed super fund is protected against general debt recovery.
Yeah.
And the fourth one, depreciation and other expenses such as your interest, your rates or your maintenance will actually be claimable back through that self-managed super fund.
Yeah, the thing with the self-managed super fund is the type of property you're buying to put into that super fund. So you're looking for something that is fairly new, is the ideal type of property. So maybe something that you've purchased off the plan, or a brand new property, something you've built, or if not, just a few years old is ideal.
100%. So you worked on my point 6. That's awesome. You're on the ball, case. But the last one, you can't actually renovate that property during that process, and when there's money borrowed against it. So that's really important to understand. But as Case mentioned earlier, it's our disclaimer. It's not our. You do need to seek that professional advice,
and you can't have any family living in it and things like that as well. So there's a couple of rules around it, but it's definitely a good way to purchase property, and especially purchasing property for long term.
Definitely. And what else have you got for us this week?
I've just got our numbers. So what's happened over the last 7 days, we've received 289 tenant inquiries. We've had 9 inspections scheduled. Tenants registered to inspect were 145. Applications received 93, and we've leased 10 properties. Let's say that's a bit of a record at the moment. That's the most properties we've leased in a week. I'd have to say for the last 3 months or so, leasing numbers are still down just because there is that shortage on rental properties available in Newcastle. But 10 properties this week, I think we're on track to do over closer to the 40 mark this month, which is good.
Yeah. But whilst it's slowing down, that's our conversations with our investors, is that our properties are still leasing. The team is doing an amazing job each and every day.
Yeah, leasing numbers are still, leasing numbers are low, but days on market are still low, and higher rents available, higher rents being achieved. That's our Monday wrap for you. If you have an investment property, if you're looking to purchase, Reach out, let's have the chat now, let's do your due diligence to ensure that you understand your investment strategy. What are you hoping to achieve out of the property? What time frame are you looking to purchase in or to hold for? Let's have those smart conversations now to ensure you're on the right track to securing financial freedom through property. I'm Casey Healy, Director here at Century 21.
And I'm Nicole Hoare, Investor Consultant within our agency.
We look forward to talking to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.